Ladies and gentlemen, with Specter Alter's banner has come to an end. Time to see Arknights' future limited banner after Spectral. And boy, the future limited banner consists of very useful and interesting operators. So without further ado, let's see Arknights' upcoming limited banner and their operators. Currently, there are 2 limited banners after Spectral. And probably in the CN server we'll get another limited Neon siblings. To celebrate Chinese New Year soon. And God knows when the Monster Hunter collab will drop. But back to the 2 limited banner. First, Gavial Altar banner featuring another 6-star Posiomka. That is estimated will come in January to celebrate Arknights' global 3rd anniversary. The limited and altar operator is Gavial, the Invincible. Gavial thinks that peace is no longer an option. So she decided to change her class to 6-star Centurion Guard. She is the 2nd 6-star Centurion after Blaze. And compared to Blaze, Garcialter is more of a nuker unit. And have more attack and defense than Blaze thanks to her talents. That will allow Gavial to have a permanent attack and defense buff. And further increased it if she blocks an enemy. Her 2nd talent also increases the amount of heal she receives from other, helping to increase her survival. As for her skills, her 1st skill is a basic skill with increased attack and self HP regeneration. Just like Jay with his S2. It can be a great self-sustained skill if she attacks weak enemies. But against tougher enemies it's better to use her other skills. Meanwhile, her skill 2 is a unique one. This will increase her range, attack and defense. And when attacking and blocked enemies, she will pull them toward herself. The pull level is decent enough to pull or at least disrupt enemy movement. And with this Gavial can cover 2 lanes temporarily. As for her skill 3, this is her ultimate survival and burst skill. Gavial will gain an increased attack and attack speed. And also increase her block count to 5. Making her can attack more enemies simultaneously. And during this skill, she will only receive 50% damage from the enemies. The damage reduction from this is quite awesome. It makes her survive almost every kind of boss's attack. Even work for something like the Londinium cannon in chapter 10. At max she only has 2900 HP, so she will certainly get defeated by the cannon. But after the skill ends she will bleed out. With the remaining damage she received during the skill duration. Over 20 seconds after the skill ends. Even if she survive enemy attacks during the skill duration, she can get killed from the after effects. So make sure to keep an eye on her, and prepare a healer. Overall Gavial Altar is a great guard for a newbie, and those who lack AoE guard. And if you're looking someone to 1v1 a boss, maybe she's a gal for you. Moving on to the other 6-star featured in Gavial's banner. We have Posiomka. Another 6-star heavy shooter sniper. Just like Faust, she can summon a turret dubbed the typewriter. You can only deploy 1 typewriter just like Skulter. It has a slightly less attack than Posiomka, has the same skills. Has 5 DP cost, lasts 25 seconds in the field, and 40 seconds redeployment time. The typewriter makes Posiomka a versatile attacker. To attack enemies that are out of her range. Or double the damage, with Posiomka and the typewriter attacking the same enemy. And if you have unlocked her E2 talent, her typewriter can even reduce enemy defense. Posiomka also got a good skills. Her 1st skill is an infinite duration skill that will increase her attack. And she will have a chance to deal critical damage. Her skill 2 can make her deal 3 attacks with critical damage to the enemy. And the typewriter redeployment time will be decreased. Good to use if you often need her typewriter. But her famous skill is none other than her skill 3. It will expand her range like a core caster. Reduce her attack interval and each attack will deal critical damage. If you use the typewriter with her she can deal an insane amount of damage. There are a lot of crazy things you can do with Posiomka. Offering you high DPS and versatile way to deal with enemies. Overall she's one of the top tier unit that is awesome to have. Okay, The 6 stars in Garcialter banner are undoubtedly useful. But what about the 5 star in this banner? Consider yourself lucky, the 5 star in this banner is also useful. The 5 star Cantabile has a new archetype in the Vanguard class. Her archetype is called Agent. Basically she is a fast redeploy Vanguard. With 2 tiles ahead range like an instructor guard, and can do a ranged attack. With her talent, when not blocking she will increase her attack speed. And when blocking she will increase her attack. The only way for Cantabile to obtain DP is to activate her skill. Her skill 1, which is a passive skill, will increase her attack upon deployment, and she will obtain 1 DP after every attack. As for her skill 2, it's an ammo type skill. That also increases her attack and attack speed. Also give her a camouflage effect. And same as S1, each of her attacks will obtain 1 DP. Thanks to her abilities, Cantabile become another worthy Vanguard to use in various content. Acting as a fast redeploy and decent assassin unit. And also as a DP printer. Definitely a must have and must full pot. Alright, that's all the operators in Gavialter limited banner. Now moving to the other limited banner. Featuring a limited and an alter, Texas, the Omertosa. This 6 star version of Texas is an executor specialist. Specializes in arts damage and crowd control. With her talent, Texas will increase her attack when her skill is active. And for the first time she defeated an enemy, she will redeploy herself, recovering all of her HP and reactivating her skill. A nice talent that indirectly makes Texas' skill duration longer, and deals impact damage from her skills twice. Her second talent is simple but quite helpful. After deployment and before defeating an enemy, she will increase her attack speed and reduce the damage taken. Texas also got a variety of skills for different situations. Such as her skill 1, which allows her to silence an enemy and inflict arts damage. The damage isn't great like her other skills. But here's another good option for silencing enemies. As for her skill 2, immediately deal critical damage upon deployment. Reducing enemy resistance. Increase her attack, deal 2 hits. And attack turns into arts damage for the remaining of the skill duration. An awesome skill to target a specific enemy, especially a tanky one. The resistance debuff is also useful to temporarily debuff enemy. To increase the arts damage from Texas herself or other operators. Last but not least, her skill 3. After deployment, she will deal critical damage as arts damage twice. And stun surrounding enemies for up to 2 seconds. Thereafter, some targets within her range will be attacked by sword rain. That deals a certain percentage of arts damage. And stun them for a brief moment. One of the top tier crowd control skills in the game. She shines in various content, especially in the recent CC11. Undoubtedly, Texas Alter is one of the operators that is worth it to gacha. Now for the standard 6 star, who is also not less awesome. Another 6 star juggernaut defender codename Penance. Penance is one or perhaps the tankiest defender in the game. It all thanks to her ability to gain barrier. Barrier is a new term for shield that absorbs a certain amount of damage. You know, something like the shield of Gravel's S2 and Shining's S2. With her talent 1, Penance can obtain a certain amount of barrier after deployment. And every time she defeated an enemy she will get a barrier equal to 6% HP. As for her second talent, Penance thinks attacking enemy herself is overrated. So when she got attacked while possessing a barrier, Penance deals arts damage equal to her attack to the attacker. Thanks to her big attack, the arts damage from this is quite awesome. Now, let's see her skills. Her skill 1 will deal additional arts damage equal to some percentage of her attack. It also can be charged to inflict critical damage and stun the target. And I really like her charged animation, spinning that hammer menacingly. As for her skill 2, she will stop attacking and gain a 60% shelter effect. And deal critical damage as arts damage to all nearby enemies every second. And during the skill duration the shield amount she gets from defeating enemies will be increased. Lastly, her skill 3. Upon activation, Penance will obtain a certain amount of barrier. This skill will increase her attack interval, but massively increase her attack. It's a simple but great skill to increase her attack damage. And also increase the damage from her talent too. It also increase her taunt level, and most of the time it's a good thing. Overall, Penance is a tanky defender and also can deal great damage to the enemies. Although if somehow Penance loses her barrier, it can be dangerous. But overall, Penance is one of the top tier defender to have. That will protect the lane and attack enemies directly or indirectly with her barrier. As for the 5-star Intex Assaulter banner, it's another Deadeye sniper called LunaCub. LunaCub is all about camouflage effect. She's a decent sniper that can be placed anywhere. Without worrying much about ranged enemies will attack her. Those who love to use Firewatch S1 probably will love this little wolf. Well, that wraps all the upcoming limited banners after Specter Altar. All the upcoming limited banners are very worth it to gacha. So you'd better save your resources. But don't just focus on the limited banner, because some upcoming standard banners are also worth it to pull. But I'll make a different video about those standard banners later. I hope this video can help you to see how useful the upcoming operators in the limited banner. That should be all. Adios.